The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, Mavericks? We are back with another episode of The Unusual Mavericks. I'm your host, Kwame, joined by Just Dominic.
That's right.
We hope you had a good weekend. We did.
We absolutely did.
We caught up on some shows.
Yes.
Saw some things, and we're gonna get into some stuff in the Maverick Alert. But how are you, Dominic?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited to talk about what's going on in the world of Marvel and DC. So
yes.
This is going to be interesting. There's been some decapitations, some wig snatching, and all kinds of juicy stuff. So it's going to be fun.
It's been a hot mess. But we're going to go ahead and get into the Maverick Alert.
Yes, yes.
Let's go. All right, you guys, it's time for the Maverick Alert, and we don't have a lot to talk about, but this one major topic, and I think we're going to spend this entire segment talking about it because it was some craziness. Without further ado, sir.
Yes, let's talk about Marvel and the mess that Phase 4 was. According to Kevin Feige himself, he said this was more about Phase 4 was more about just pumping out material instead of paying attention to the quality of material. And a lot of fans agree, so much so that the CEO or former CEO of Disney has been chopped.
Yes.
Bob Chapek
has been chopped.
He's been chopped.
Chapek chopped.
And to hear Iger is back.
Chapek.
And he is the one who is, of course, one of the key components in making sure that Marvel Phase 1, 2, and 3 was successful with Feige himself. So that super team, the duo, is back together again.
Yeah. So I'm a Marvel fan.
Yeah, so let's unpack this Phase.
I'm a little distressed.
4. Okay, let's talk about Phase 4.
Yeah, before we get into anything about the hoopla that happened with Marvel, let's have a review of Phase 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Of course, Phase 4 started with WandaVision, I believe.
Which was very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was some series that were good. WandaVision was good, as we've talked about. Black Widow, the movie.
Yes, I actually have everything pulled up right now. So we had, as far do you want to do films or TV first?
Well, let's just do them in order.
It doesn't have it in order. It breaks it down. Yeah,
okay, whatever.
So I'll do my best. So it says for television, it was WandaVision. And then we had The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and their ratings were okay, not the best.
For Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Correct.
Yes.
And even WandaVision, she had some moments where people were like, man, yeah, but they in the first couple of episodes, I think they struggled.
Compared to everything else?
Yeah, but in the beginning okay. Yeah.
Loki season 1 also was in Phase 4. Excuse me. And I thought that they did pretty good with that.
Yeah, I thought that was actually my favorite series out of this Phase 4 period. Loki was.
I will say with Loki, it was pretty good. I will say between Loki and WandaVision, they were my two standouts for me. And I after thinking about it Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's just started slow, but I think it ended okay. It wasn't great, but I think it ended okay, and I appreciated it.
But that has been the constant criticism of all of Phase 4.
Yeah.
Even with WandaVision.
Yeah.
Even with Hawkeye, which was
oh my God.
ranked as one of the worst series of Phase 4.
And I didn't even watch it.
And according to the ratings as well, it really did not perform. None of Marvel Phase 4 ratings really performed. What If, I think, did one of the strongest.
Yeah.
They had one of the strongest
What If was
audience.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What If was
have you
amazing.
ever finished it though?
I didn't. Well, no, there was a couple of remember, we're going to do a rewatch, but there was a couple of because, you know, for those who don't know, What If, it's kind of like shorts and alternative stories to some of our Marvel phases and shows and movies and stuff like that. So I did see a couple of them, but there was a couple that I did miss. But
Okay,
I'm looking
so
forward to watching the whole thing.
Not complete that.
You see the
Which
shade?
was perfect because Loki introduced the multiverse in a way with all of these variants and da. What If continues that same storyline?
Yeah. And we didn't finish.
it's really
did we
worth
finish?
it.
Well, I didn't finish Moon Knight.
I finished all of them.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
except
didn't
for
finish Moon
Hawkeye.
Knight, but Moon Knight dragged on for me. I think visually it was stunning. And I think it was just really pretty.
Yeah.
But
Again,
that's not an issue.
The same criticism, and so many Marvel fans have the same criticism that these characters were not really worth the series because a lot of them were like B characters.
And I didn't understand why we even had a Moon Knight series, because I was just like, what does Moon Knight have to do with anything else?
Like Moon Knight should be introduced because of Secret Wars, I believe, but a whole series, maybe a special.
I didn't think it was necessary to do a whole series on it. And then Miss Marvel, I get Miss Marvel, or why Miss Marvel was, introduced as a side character or as a full series, because, you're bringing in the Marvels. But I would have rather seen Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen them extend the story since she was already introduced in WandaVision.
Well, again,
that would have made more sense for me.
The writing was horrible in these series because there should have been a lot of name it Moon Knight, name it Miss Marvel, but introduce and have a lot of characters that we love come through the series instead of these series all being in bubbles. I think that was one of the biggest flaws in Phase 4, in my opinion. Everything was in a bubble. There was no crossover at all, and Marvel was notorious for that.
And then there was She-Hulk.
Well, and the worst rated series to date, allegedly. They lost a lot of money.
She
CGI,
climbed out of the show.
Well, hold on.
That's
CGI
one of my major
was poorly
issues.
done. But one of my issues also was the CGI was very poorly done.
It was compared to the other shows and the other movies. I was like really,
worse
Marvel?
than the CW in some ways. But allegedly,
I wouldn't say that.
Allegedly, these. Allegedly,
let's not get crazy.
Well, I don't know. We'll say on par with the CW.
I wouldn't even say
better.
that.
No, it was not better.
Let's not get crazy, okay, guys?
No.
Let's calm down.
Try to watch She-Hulk. Look at the CGI. I dare you.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that the CGI wasn't
as
poor,
bad as the CW.
Pause.
Yes,
we're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that. This is my opinion.
That's fine.
Was just because I watched it.
You gonna be alone on that ship?
I watched. He didn't watch. I watched the entire.
I didn't need to watch that. She came out of the show.
How can you then criticize what I saw? You can't.
It's not even about that. It's first of all, I saw the trailers and everything. The trailers by itself are virtually just better. Okay, let's talk about video production now. I know the difference between CW shows and Marvel shows. And
I'm
even
talking
DC
about
shows.
The CGI overall was on
You're not
par.
Gonna compare
they were
to CW
equal.
shows.
I will, and I do.
Trash opinion. Sorry, that was not okay. I don't think so.
Whatever.
CW.
I am entitled to have my own opinion.
You
and
are.
That is my opinion. If you think it's trash or not.
You are entitled.
Whatever. So also the huge criticism is why the CGI was poor. And this is not just my opinion. This is the criticism of Marvel fans. This is going viral everywhere, that the CGI for She-Hulk was on par with the CW. That's just not my opinion.
That's crazy.
That is thousands of people saying the same thing. And allegedly the reason why the CGI was so poor is because that these poor folks that Disney has hired, they stretched them so tough and did not pay them a lot of overtime.
Well, that's been a common issue with Disney overall, with
that's
with the
terrible.
parks and like Disneyland parks and the Disney World parks. That's been a common issue with them. So
to hear that has spread into Marvel and people were mistreated in that way, it's that's not cool. So we hope that all of these issues get fixed because they need to. And allegedly in phase 1 through 3. That was not the issue, and that's why the CGI
they had more
was
time.
So outstanding.
They had more time and more space to kind of navigate that.
And you can't split your team so
no,
tough
you can't
and work them like
well,
that.
Well, also
I'm for the little man.
Also for phase 4, it was so. Phase 4 seemed rushed. Like I felt like it was rushed because they were trying to compete with DC, in my personal opinion. And I didn't really think that everything was really thought out. It wasn't as because like. Let's just get into the films.
And also,
Black Widow.
Phase 4 was the longest. They had the most content of any phase.
Black Widow?
Which made it.
Now, Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, I like that. That was actually a good movie. I personally thought. Eternals. Okay. Spider-Man No Way Home. That was okay. Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness, waste of money. Why did I spend money to go? Waste of money. It's trash. Thor Love and Thunder. I didn't think Thor Love and Thunder was bad. I didn't think it was great, but it wasn't bad.
No.
As most people criticize on, I thought it was decent. It kind of reminded me of the third movie.
It was a little bit better than the Dark World. To me.
Yeah, we're not going to acknowledge that one.
Better than they do, because Jane Foster's back. They definitely tried to.
I don't know where you came out. Whoever came out with the Dark Elves. Where did you come up with the Dark Elves, girl?
That was a lot, but Anyway.
And then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which saved, like it's the saving grace. It was kind of like a way to go out. And then we had the television specials, Werewolf by Night, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard they did a pretty decent review.
It was very well. It did very well.
And then
it looked stunning.
Yeah, the trailers look stunning. I'm interested in taking a look at it. You know.
Go ahead, and the next one.
Go ahead and be shady. Okay, so the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Like I literally.
However, it did well.
How did it do well?
It did well in ratings. I'm following all of this.
Y'all are something else.
I'm not only watching, but I'm following the numbers, and that did okay.
Shame.
I didn't really like it either.
It was garbage. I'm sorry. It was a waste of my time. I will not get that 2.5 hours back.
So allegedly Marvel's going to do more specials because their specials have been doing better. I mean, like far outperforming the series that they've been doing.
She-Hulk. First of all, the title, She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Yeah. And allegedly, I guess what the 3 lowest series that they lost the most on was She-Hulk. Right above that was Miss Marvel, and right above that was Hawkeye. Well,
let me say this. Can I say this about Miss Marvel? I started to watch Miss Marvel, and again,
did you finish?
I didn't. We're gonna start. We're gonna continue. Did we not talk about? No, did we not talk about this in the last episode? That I was gonna rewatch it.
Well, for all of you newcomers, we just want to keep you up to speed on what's happening here at the Unusual Mavericks. So yes,
my point, okay, and what I was trying to say about Miss Marvel was that, again, I started this and it made me feel like I needed to leave because it was not strong writing, but I didn't think it was as bad as She-Hulk. Yeah. And let me explain why I think that this particular series did had a hurdle to get over. Number one, the character is not popular.
No, she's not.
Not a popular character. I really didn't see a reason.
She's a B character. She's a side character.
Yeah, I don't understand why that was chosen, but that's fine. Okay, cool. You run a B character. we wanted a lot of other people.
Yeah. Doom actually would have fit in very well since Wakanda Forever was supposed to have ties to that. So
that would have made sense. But you know, whatever. Marvel, you make your decisions. Kevin Feige, you do your thing. Whatever. But the problem that I had with that I think that Miss Marvel came up against is a lot of racism. DC and Marvel have a huge contingent of racist fans. Because there's issues with colorism, there's issues with racism, there's issues with sexism. People don't like, especially in DC, people had a huge issue with Candace Patton. Why? Because she's black and she's playing a quote unquote white character, which it didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me. People even with Disney, people have an issue with the new Little Mermaid with Ariel being played by one of the Chloe or Halle. Is it Halle? Yeah, Halle Bailey, which was ridiculous to me.
The Bailey girls,
it's like one of the Bailey girls, and it frustrates me that was one of the reasons I feel one of the reasons why Miss Marvel didn't do as well. But at least it didn't do worse than She-Hulk.
It was set up to I totally hear you there, and I do think it had that hurdle. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that series also had that same hurdle,
especially when they were talking about racism and
but
oppression.
The comic book does it literally mirrored the comic book and his trajectory to becoming Captain America. But
you also have to realize that a lot of these people
they don't know that
they're not comic book they're not
blue
watching
eyes and blonde hair and blase, which is unfortunate, and that is not the way it's supposed to be. And we do know that there's pushback for making two of the X-Men, two of the French Creole X-Men, Gambit and Rogue, who were originally supposed to be a biracial. They were supposed to be mulatto, as they say. And so, of course, in the classic animated series, that they're white and, you know, whatever. But now, with all the consciousness and knowledge we have, they're talking about making those corrections, and there's pushback.
Yeah,
just as you said. Because unfortunately, they think white is a right.
So it looks like I'm looking at the Marvel. Disney delays new Avengers film to 2026, which kind of pisses me off a little bit. Studio pushes Blade to 2024 after stopping production. New Deadpool and Fantastic Four films are also delayed. It's just, I just don't.
It sounds like the only thing that's coming out is the Ant-Man movie that they announced.
Well, they already finished it.
Well, they've already announced it. It's already slated to come out. Sounds like it's a strong film. So that's going to come out. And then the other film, I think a few films that they've announced in phase 5 as well.
Deadpool and Fantastic Four are delayed.
And what's her name? Ironheart. They say that is a disaster. Allegedly, at the end of the year, according to the earnings report for Disney, Marvel has lost $1.5 billion. Marvel has
a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money. and you know, on the flip side,
studio, that's a lot of money.
And with all the problems that DC has had with their mergers and sell-offs and all of these movies, you know, all of their consolidation, they're on slate to make about $12 billion if the recession doesn't continue to impact the movie-going experience.
Yeah, which I think it will.
Yeah.
It's just movie theaters are just expensive.
Yeah.
Like just to go for two people is like $50-$60 per time you go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. And that's if you know, and then you can't bring your own dang on snacks. So if I want my own popcorn, I want my own popcorn.
Gotta sneak it all in. Anyway, but don't do that.
Don't do that. It's not proper.
But that just to let you know how unimpressive fans were.
Yeah.
With phase 4 to lose $1.5 billion.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Absolutely. So
but we were talking about this in our pre-production meeting about like these issues that DC had, and then how Marvel fans were like attacking them, and now Marvel fans Marvel is having issues, and now DC fans are attacking. And I just want to say this. this is the cycle of life.
It is.
It really is.
And I'm sorry, but when I look at the two different franchises and as far as putting out content on their streaming platforms as well, I see why Disney Plus and Marvel, they're losing money because they don't put out a lot of fresh content. And it's not a lot of fun.
And let me say something about Disney Plus, because that's not really Marvel's issue. Disney has a whole thing going on, and one of the things that I noticed is that Disney had when they went ahead and they eliminated their contract with Netflix, that was something that Netflix was looking at as a huge crush to their stability on platforms and stuff like that. But with Disney.
But now that Marvel has ended their contract with Netflix, it cost them a ton of money.
Yeah.
Oh,
it cost Marvel a ton of money?
Yes.
Yeah. Because guess what? There are loyalists that are still loyal to Netflix. And one of the differences between Netflix and some of these other platforms is that Netflix constantly brings up new stuff.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, whether it's something that we don't, that it's like new, or if it's Marvel related specifically, Netflix is constantly bringing you new types of content that they are producing. And so it behooves someone to when we're juggling all of these different streaming apps on what to pay, those things add up. $5.99, $7.99, $8.99, $9.99, all of those things add up. So after a while, it's kind of like, well, I don't want to have the same amount of money that I paid for cable, compared to the same amount that I was paying for streaming apps. So I need to look at what streaming apps are going to be worth keeping.
And why would Marvel pay so much money to end licensing fees with Netflix to bring over series like Jessica Jones?
Well, that's why people
Iron
are fired.
Fist, and those series weren't the best series in the first place.
Well, that's why people are fired.
And they didn't have a large audience. And so, yeah, I see why they kind of blew their capital on bringing all this stuff over.
Right. And and I thought, first of all, I think the bringing all of the stuff over, like getting the licenses to bring all of Disney content to Disney, or Marvel content to Marvel, or back to Disney or whatever, to the Disney Plus app, that was smart because Disney has become a repository for all of Marvel stuff, like all of the old X-Men stuff, all of the Spider-Man stuff. This is why we're able to even do our research on some of the old shows.
But they also have license fees to Warner Brothers.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is
that if they're going to bring it over, they're going to have to pay all kinds of penalties.
It is what it is,
because it's a great money making opportunity to have your stuff licensed to different platforms because you have more than one revenue source.
But then you split your audience.
Exactly.
But they have to be strategic about it because you split your audience that way. So
not for that old stuff on Netflix, like Jessica Jones and all of that stuff. People aren't going to be running to Netflix to see something that's no longer in production. It's an archive series.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you have to have a balance to these things. So if you're going to pull everything to your app, you need to make sure that your app is also producing more stuff.
But that costs money, and that's why they're in the hole.
Here we are, girl.
$1.5 billion.
While you over here trying to get everything and be greedy girls and greedy and keep everything to your app. Now you have an app that is stagnant.
Yeah,
it's not producing anything other. I mean, they have like Encanto and all this other stuff, but that's basic Marvel or Disney stuff.
I don't think it was
Star Wars.
I don't think it was really smart because Walter Amada did the same thing on HBO Max.
Yeah,
and where is he today?
Well,
yes, correct. He tried to pull everything over and do it that way, and David Zaslav said, "No, we're gonna license stuff out so we can have more than one income stream." That's common sense. If you can have more than one income stream, take it. Take it. Because you don't know what your stuff is going to do. You don't know how your stocks are going to rise and fall. You have no clue. So it makes a whole lot of sense not to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And so you see the difference in shift how Discovery, Warner Brothers, has now shifted the direction, which it was painful.
Yeah.
But now they're in the black. And now Disney / Marvel Studios has to do the same thing because this phase. And to look at phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, count all the properties in those phases. I believe it is less than phase 4. So you worked your same team.
Yeah.
And made them put in one phase what they did in 3. And you think it's going to be quality and Oscar-winning material?
I agree.
No, it don't go like that.
I agree with you on that. This was not a smart movie because I could have did without a couple of these.
No, and and to be honest, I
could have did without Moon Knight.
This Bob Chop Track or whatever his name is got canned, but
Chop Track,
whatever. I'm looking suspicious at Feige. Okay, because Feige led us to victory for Marvel for 1 through 3, and now all of a sudden, and people still talking about Feige is God. Feige is all that.
Well, first of all, nobody's God.
Is he? Is he? Because he put himself in She-Hulk, the worst series, worst project out of phase 4.
She climbed out of the show and had a conversation and scolded the writing team. Then had a whole conversation with Kevin Feige.
She did. All right, everyone. We are going to be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we've got more to talk about.
We'll be back.
Hey there, Unusual Mavericks. Got a quick question for you. Can you tell me, what is Wonder Woman's twin sister's name? Was it A, Sharia, B, Naomi, C, Gamora, or D, Nubia?
All right, and we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, as well as checking out all the other cool content on Pyro Media Network. And don't forget to also check out Bullet and Flight Radio, the #1 progressive Christian radio station in the world.
That's right.
All right, so it's time for the Stargirl review. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. All right. So if you guys have not seen Stargirl, last week we're going to be reviewing Stargirl for the remainder of this series or season. There was also some talk about what's going on with this. Some speculation. Yeah, we're going to get into that. But this episode was episode 12, Frenemies, chapter 12, The Last Will and Testament of Sylvester Pendleton. In flashbacks, Winters plots with Dragon King to capture an albino gorilla to use as a new body. In the present, Sylvester promises Artemis that he will kill Jordan in her stead and tells Beth and Yolanda to find successors for the other fallen JSA members. Jordan tells Cameron that the Ultra Humanite may have attacked Dissinger and offers to go after him. As Sylvester leaves to fight Jordan, he berates Pat, destroys Stripe, and steals the staff from Courtney. Pat realizes Sylvester was lying to protect him and follows him, only to be knocked out by Sylvester, who is revealed to be in league with Jordan. Meanwhile, with help from Thunderbolt, Jakeem, Mike, and Cindy find one of the Dragon King's labs, but are ambushed by the Ultra Humanite, who they realize has Dragon King's brain. Rick tells the JSA that Sylvester had him remove the hourglass limiter, and Beth notes that Rex became addicted without the limiter, and that Sylvester knew this. Pat awakens and is buried alive by Sylvester, who has had the Ultra Humanite's brain all along. What the heck?
Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, that was a lot to read. Imagine how much it is to unpack. Wow, what an episode.
Yeah.
And what a cliffhanger and curveball they threw.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. I knew that we were going to get some bad guys.
Yeah, I definitely was not expecting that.
No.
Yeah, that
and
was
when
definitely
we saw
a
Ultra
hit.
Humanite a couple of episodes ago. I think it's been a couple of episodes ago. I was wondering, like, why is he out in the woods? And
Yeah.
why is he just out in the woods? It's just so
He was just
strange
randomly there.
for him, because he's always been portrayed as this super classy, super
Yeah.
sophisticated, hyper intelligent guy who ape who is bad but kind of good.
Yep.
In a way. So yeah, this was a very cool take.
Yeah, it was. I really I enjoyed this episode.
Let's start at the top.
Let's start. Yeah, let's just go from the beginning where Winter's plots with Dragon King.
Yeah, let's talk about that opening scene, kind of in black and white. It was kind of the 40s, 50s genre of movies, that silver age of Hollywood, and he's playing a character who won their version of an Oscar.
Yeah.
So how successful, and to hear that this Ultra Humanite, according to the comic books as well, put his brain in her body. So just masquerading, kidnapped this woman, took her brain out, killed her, and took over her body. That was insane to see their past and the relationship that the Ultra Humanite had with Dr. Ito.
Yeah.
Dr. Ito was really interesting to see him come back as well. It was really cool to see
that was really cool to see. I enjoyed seeing that, and I also enjoyed just kind of the tie-in, because we've been hearing kind of like little drops of what, where's Dragon King, what's going on, where Cindy is in his old labs, and we don't know what's going on. So it was interesting to see how they tied him back into the show, and did it smoothly without having it be like such a it wasn't like it was nice to see how they wrote that in there.
Yes, it was really cool. And then at the end of that classic old time scene of them talking about whose body, how should we change and how should we morph, and whose brain is my body gonna go in now? And it's really interesting and that's what's just like really normal and creepy to them. And then obviously they transition to the current day and what's going on in town now.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what did you think about that?
I don't like Sylvester, and I haven't really liked Sylvester since the beginning. It's like he just kind of like.
Well, we never really got to know the real Sylvester.
I've always side-eyed him though.
In the very opening episode of Stargirl, we only see him engaged in a battle for his life. He is engaged in Mortal Kombat, and he loses. He dies. And so to see that now in current day time, Sylvester is trying to push the family away and say he's going to go after Icicle and and he sowed all these seeds of discord between the JSA. They really trusted him as Starman. Yeah. And
what turned me off, let's fast forward a little bit into when he started talking to Sylvester, and kind of like, was this whole like, because at first I was like, who is he talking to, sir? Like
when he was talking to Pat?
When he told Pat and was like berating him and making him feel like you're not a hero and blah, blah. And I'm just like, first of all, you wasn't saying that when you asked to live with him, fool. And you are sitting here having a whole, like, I'm going to disrespect you in his house. And I was like, Pat, I don't care if he was the real Sylvester. You going to sit there and take that? That was a problem.
I just don't think the real Sylvester would have ever talked to him like that.
I don't know.
In the flashback scenes, Sylvester was never like that.
I don't know. I don't care. But at that moment in time, you should have fought him.
Yeah. Because you should have seen that this was not your friend. And this wasn't how your friend normally behaved. I mean, he did. And he tried to rationalize it by saying he only did this to protect me. Because we're like brothers. The only reason why he would speak this harshly to me is to protect me and the family and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Now, what I found interesting was, and what I liked was the connection that was reinforced with Courtney and her love for Pat. Because remember, Pat's Pat's not his or her biological father, but he's been there since the beginning, or not, as long as she's been, or he's been with her mother. And so to see how Pat took on such a great father kind of role, and
absolutely.
also role model, being a role model for her. And they were in the first season, they weren't cool. You know what I'm saying?
He had just married his mom, mom, and moved her away.
So to see that progression and to see all of the stuff that they've been, and to see that she actually had his back, made me respect her a little bit more, because at first when Sylvester came, she was all about Sylvester. You know what I'm saying?
But that was the father she thought he was her. That's fine, but
even after the fact that she found out that her father was actually some trash dude, not a sanitation worker, like he's actually trash.
The real Starman had a fantastic reputation.
Yeah.
He was not vicious or a cruel person.
Yeah.
He had edge to him, but he was not cruel.
Right.
This version of him.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, Burr?
Yeah, I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to see in the slow reveal that Starman is actually the Ultra Humanite.
Yeah. But what I found
Sylvester
really weird,
he's actually gone for
which it was really sad. But what I found really weird was how he was able to take the staff from her.
Yeah, the cosmic staff.
Because the cosmic staff is supposed to be this cosmic thing. How did you not know it wasn't him?
But it was him. But it wasn't him. It was him, but it wasn't. Because as they have explained throughout this entire series, holding the cosmic staff and using its power stops you from aging. So the moment that the real Sylvester picked up that staff and started using it, he has not been aging. He should be far older. He should be in his 60s or something. They showed Jay Garrett in an episode, I think it was last season, in a flashback. Jay Garrett is older. And Sylvester also should have been aging like everyone else, but he wasn't. And his body, even in death, was completely preserved.
Yeah.
Because of the energy of the cosmic staff. So that is, I think that says a lot, number one, about the powers of the cosmic staff and things that we still don't know. I wish we had another season to unpack all the powers.
Okay. Can we talk about something that's been bothering me?
What?
When did Rick become a drug addict?
I don't know if I like the turn that the hourglass took, and it really made him into like a...
I did not like that storyline.
Meth head or something.
It was very drug addict, and I'm not addiction shaming anybody, but it was just the way the turning of that story was because the limiter, I get the stress of the body, I get the stress of having the limiter removed from the hourglass and it being a stress on his physical body, but then it made it turn like he needed to have it on. Why not just him take it off and he just, he's no longer, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't make any sense, that portion of it. Like, why did you, because if it's supposed to be a stressor on your body, wouldn't you want to have it off? Like, wouldn't your body want to resist
I think
it?
If they would have got another season, they wouldn't have wrapped it up. I think they have to wrap up this whole thing very quickly. I think if they had another season, they would really dive into the actual powers, what gives him that powers, where his powers come from, and really get more comic booky with
Personally,
it.
I don't care because I don't really like Rick.
Rick is not super likable.
He's annoying.
I have to say that he is the least likable. I was looking forward to getting to know the Green Lantern a little bit more.
Yes, Jade.
And Obsidian, her brother.
Oh my God, yes. That would have been a great series.
His powers are insane. His powers are insane.
And them together is insane.
Yeah. And hopefully they would have brought in Hawkgirl and a few other folks to really make a strong JSA.
But speaking of that, really quickly before we go into our because we have to take another commercial break. But it was very interesting to see that how they were advertising it. It said season finale.
Oh yes, instead of series finale. HBO Max, please hear us today, James Gunn,
everyone,
and Mr. Sefron.
And y'all know,
bring him back.
Y'all know how I feel about CW.
Bring him back.
You know how I feel about the CW.
But this is not CW.
No, it's not, because it's not, because season one was But season 2 and 3, whoo, Nelly.
Well, I think they were always paying for it. But regardless, the property is co-owned by HBO Max, which is fantastic. So HBO, please pick up the
Just
series
absorb them
like you do with Doom Patrol and Titans.
And isn't Superman and Lois on HBO Max now?
Yes, that's another show.
Yeah, so why not just bring that over?
Yeah, so that's all cool. Might as well bring it over.
Anywho, that's all I got for I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. We have one more episode.
One more episode before this whole thing wraps up. So I think it's going to move very quickly. And to me, it was one of the best DC shows that came on the CW network, period. And we know that this is not a part of the Arrowverse, and that's why it felt different. It's lit differently. It felt really different. Now, and because it is, as we know, produced by most of the HBO Max shows, we want y'all to bring it over.
I'm so the next episode is chapter 13, the final, the Reckoning is the finale. Yes. And so it's directed by Walter Carlos Garcia and written by Jeff Jones.
Yes, Jeff Jones said that he has always intended for this to be a 3-season series.
Oh, that's sad. I hope. But
he was led to believe that they were going to get a 4, so that's why he wrote, and they were in pre-production for season 4 when they got the news.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, come on.
Because DC be trying stuff at the very last minute. They want to go bloop. We got to do a little surprise. Bloop, you're a dude. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And even if they don't announce it before the last episode, we'll see how it goes a couple of weeks after. I'm keeping my hope
fast on it because those kids are growing up.
Yeah. So
anyway,
all right. Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey there, Unusual Mavericks. Got a quick question for you. Can you tell me, what is Wonder Woman's twin sister's name? Was it A, Sharia, B, Naomi, C, Gamora, or D, Nubia? The answer right after this quick break. Hey there, Unusual Mavericks. Got a quick question for you. Can you tell me, what is Wonder Woman's twin sister's name? Was it A, Sharia, B, Naomi, C, Gamora, or D, Nubia? The answer is Nubia. In 1973, DC Comics introduced Nubia, Diana's twin sister. She had all of Diana's powers. The only difference is she was made out of brown clay.
And we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And don't forget, like I said, to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get on into the Titans review. So, this most recent one was episode 6, Brother Blood, which was directed by Jen McGowan and written by Richard Hatem. And so the overview goes as such. As they return to Star Labs, Rachel reveals to Corey that she would also... Spoiler alert. Okay. As they return to Star Labs, Rachel reveals to Corey that she also saw her vision, as well as Dick back in Gotham. At the labs, the Titans begin to devise a plan to stop the Blood Moon ritual. Connor, whose personality becomes more aggressive and resembling Luthor, uses LexCorp's satellites to reflect the sunlight into the moon, temporarily preventing the ritual from taking place. Later, he notices a hacking attempt on LexCorp's servers and deduces Bennett's location. Connor goes off alone to confront Bennett, but is quickly defeated. Meanwhile, Gar continues to experience visions and meets a mysterious man who tells him to, quote, go to the red when he sees, quote, the tower split. Jinx, Rachel, and Corey conduct a ritual to locate Sanger in an attempt to teleport him back to Star Labs, but finds Connor captured. The team decides to enter the cult's hideout to rescue both Connor and Sanger. Bennett uses Sanger's memories to manipulate him into willingly performing the ritual, but is cut short by the Titans' entrance. They manage to break the crystal containing Rachel's energy, restoring her power, but Jinx is stabbed when attempting to stop Bennett. Sanger completes the ritual and unleashes a scream, causing Gar's vision to become real. Gar asks to be taken to the red, while the entire team seemingly disappears from existence.
Yes. All of that happened, and now we're on a 6-week hiatus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. The upside is Doom Patrol is premiering this week, so we'll be talking more about that as those episodes roll on.
Yes.
But back to Titans. Wow, what an episode. There was a lot of movement in this episode, and again, it was fantastic to see the entire team together.
Yeah.
I love when they keep the team together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about Connor.
I told y'all last episode, she getting on my nerve. I'm sorry, Connor's getting on my nerve. I'm sorry.
I absolutely loved a more comic book accurate Connor.
Really?
Yes. Connor has 2 personalities, basically. He always has. Even in Young Justice, if you see him in Young Justice, he was brainwashed, he was a different person, and he then had the ability to choose who he wanted to be.
But the Connor in Young Justice seemed to be more of the best parts of Clark and Lex.
He is. And so this one is as well.
Well, he probably hasn't gotten to the point where he's embraced both. Because right now he's just all Lex right now.
He was all Superman before. Mm-hmm. Now he's the best parts of Lex. Mm-hmm. He's not the murderer. He's not. Well, he did try to murder that witch.
I mean,
I'll excuse you for that. But he's not trying to murder his team and all good people and innocent bystanders and just collateral damage type of thing. So I still say he's the best parts of both. He has shown us the best, but he hasn't shown us balance.
Yes, he hasn't shown us balance. We haven't gotten the full blossomed Connor yet.
Yeah, so I'm loving his story arc overall from the time he appeared on Titans till now. He's supposed to be growing as a person, and so he should discover both sides of who he is. And I mean, even in people, they're just regular people who go a little bit to the extreme when they get a little freedom or something like that, and they have to kind of come back and discover balance. So I think that's what Connor's going to do in the second half of this season when it comes back. I'm really hoping that he's going to really find himself.
Yeah.
Starfire. Oh my God. Her power levels are now going epic. She is now
epic. She's my favorite.
She is now becoming the Starfire that we all know and love in the comic books as well.
And then also what can we just quick sidebar? What's going on with Gar? Beast Boy? What is this red? What is this red? So one of the things that I really enjoyed about this particular episode is that there was a side story with Gar. And we had a guest by Nyambi, who is he's actually in the Good Fight as well. And so Nyambi played a mysterious man that went to go and talk to Beast Boy about going to the red when the time is right. So I found that really interesting, and I love that character. And so I'm interested. But what he said also was he mentioned Vixen. He mentioned, or not mentioned Vixen, but he alluded to Vixen, and he alluded to Did he mention Vixen?
They said their names.
Yeah, and he said somebody, but he said other
superheroes
that have animal type powers or resonate with animals. And so when we were having our pre-production meeting, I questioned if this has to do, if there's something in the DC universe or that they're building in Titans where Beast Boy is going to be connected in some way, shape, or form to all of these other type of animalistic superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why we have the connection to Doom Patrol.
Yeah,
Since he is the reason why, because even in the comic books, Beast Boy started off as a member of Doom Patrol, and then they put him as a part of Titans. So Beast Boy is a very important character, and I love the fact that they're doing a whole lot with this storyline.
Yeah, Beast Boy's been on a lot of different teams. He's been on Young Justice. He's been on The Outsiders. He's been on Titans, or he was a Titan.
A fan favorite. Yeah, Beast Boy is a fan favorite. I want to see Cyclops come on over too. Even if like Doom Patrol gets canceled, bring Cyclops over.
Cyclops.
I mean Cyborg.
I was like Cyclops.
I'm so sorry, X-Men? Everybody.
I was like, wait a minute.
I went to another franchise. I apologize. Cyborg. I want to see Vic Stone come on over.
I would love to see Vic Stone. Yeah, Cyborg definitely for sure come over to and just kind of do a cameo with Titans.
I want him on 3 or 4 episodes.
He's supposed to be a Titan anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree. I mean, you know, Cyborg is a member of a lot of different teams as well. He's a member of the Justice League proper. He's a member of the Teen Titans or Titans and Doom Patrol. So this is kind of nice. I mean, he's okay on Doom Patrol. I like him and I like what they've done.
But he's not fully utilized.
Yeah, I would love to see him with a proper team like this.
Yeah.
I think this would be fantastic.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and so, yeah, absolutely.
Now, Raven.
Yeah, Raven, okay, we have some issues here with Raven.
Raven is one of my favorite characters from the Teen Titans cartoon. And the way they told that story in Teen Titans was and not the Teen Titans Go. I'm talking about Teen Titans. There's a difference. And so the way they told this story with that Raven, it was a lot stronger than what I'm seeing in this particular Titans. Don't get me wrong. I like what they've done in season 4. I think season 4 has been far superior season than most of the Titan HBO Max seasons. Yeah, it is. And so, but how she turned into White Raven really, like, I think they escalated.
It doesn't
her
seem like they're following the comic book storyline.
Definitely not
either.
No.
And so, I mean, we'll see, Jeff Jones, what you got going on. He has heard our criticisms every season, and he has made the series better.
Yeah, DC has been listening to the fans a lot better.
So, Jeff Jones, we know that you're over this series, so please listen to us and give us more explanation as to what's going on with White Raven.
Yeah, and sidebar. I know we talked about it last time, but I really am not with this ship. Like,
the shipping with Tim Drake and this guy
and Emily.
Who is he?
It's Emily from Devil Wears Prada.
Like,
I really like
we don't care.
I don't even know who she is.
No,
like Emily from Devil Wears Prada. I just don't. That's who she reminds. You are an executive assistant, if that. You are. I don't know what your job title is.
Snarky, and you act like you don't care about the world.
Like you were sitting there.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Where's the Atom? Where is Ryan Choi?
We had a whole conversation about how you two had a kid. Listen, I'm all about here about representation, but we're in the middle of the end of the world.
Atom. We need the Atom to be helping these kids out.
Yes.
Ryan Choi is supposed to be a huge part of Starlight.
Yes.
So if you're not going to give us Barry Allen, if you're not going to give us some type of Dr. Wells, where is Ryan?
Or Mr. Terrific? Anybody else? But I can't deal with this girl.
Right. Even Mr. Terrific.
I cannot deal with Emily. That's what I'm going to call her. Emily from Devil Wears Prada. Emily. I'm done with it. I really need her to stop.
So yeah, that is my biggest issue.
And I don't mind.
You saved me from the big snake. You saved me.
Like when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God!"
Really, Jeff Jones?
Really?
Wrote this episode? That's corny.
Do you not have a gay on your staff? Like, I don't understand. Like, that was just
corny.
Horrible writing in that part. Like, I need you to stop.
That's corny.
Come on. We could have did better.
Absolutely.
I don't have any problem.
It was the most unnatural sounding
It was
conversation.
so uncomfortable.
It didn't even feel organic. The way they were flirting with each other. It was like, who flirts like that?
And then, yeah, it was weird. It was very Grindr.
Even that has some natural flow to it. This didn't even have no natural flow to it. It was just like, where did it come from? Did somebody copy and paste it from a script from Melrose Place?
Melrose Place was a lot better than that.
Well, it felt dated and just weird.
I just don't understand why we're having this type of conversation when we're in the middle of literally 30 minutes from the end of the world. What are you talking about? I don't care what and then he's gonna talk about, oh, you know how to use your stick. Girl, let me tell you something.
So here we go with sticks and big snakes. Really?
Oh my God.
It was So obviously,
like, don't put in a gay character just for the sake of a gay character, y'all.
I think they hired a high school intern to come in and help say, this is how they talk.
That was terrible. That's one of my least favorite things. And I want Tim Drake to be with a guy. I don't care. Like, I really
no,
do.
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue at all. I don't want anybody to think that we're gay bashing. I mean, 'cause that's not my issue. I want representation. But those two? Oh no. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
Give him a hero. Give him another hero.
Does he not deserve?
And he don't know how to use his big stick.
Okay.
Y'all made that very clear.
Okay.
He does not know how to use it.
Oh my God.
So why is Emily all hot and bothered? It's like, okay. But seriously, this is a superhero situation. He is training for something to battle the Church of Blood.
Yeah.
Can he actually train? Because in the comic books even, and the animated series, all of that, they were training with bots and fighting and flexing and not standing around town saying, how you doing?
And then the way that they kissed,
you could tell they were not as actors.
It was like
it. They were like we're getting paid to do this. 2, 3, go.
I need y'all to do better. Do better. Anyway,
it was just, again, I said it was unnatural because it had no chemistry at all.
So
disgusting.
Moving on.
So do better than that.
Do way better, and show us chemistry.
Yes, in fact. We all know that Nightwing and Starfire get together. Can you add at least a little bit more shipping to that at least? How about that?
Well, you know how I feel about... Let me be quiet.
Hey, y'all want to find a cute boy for Tim Drake? How about Aqualad? Bring back us a version of Aqualad.
Hello? How about that?
That would make sense. So Jeff Jones, do better.
Because just because Aqualad swims with the fishes doesn't mean he wants to fish.
Well, different iterations of Aqualad. He is indeed either bi or homosexual, I believe. So, or sexually fluid or something.
I don't care. Tim Drake deserves a hero.
Give us that Aqualad.
Not the help.
Very happy.
Not the help.
Yeah. He needs a hero.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Just really quickly, I just want to talk about Joseph Morgan. phenomenal acting, and he is making everybody step up their game.
Yes.
Because he is a phenomenal actor. Bravo, Joseph Morgan, on being Brother Blood, because you have really transcended the show.
And to the casting director.
And to the casting director, because at the end of the day, you have really transcended the show, and I'm very proud of what you're doing. Because as a former Originals fan, okay, still an Originals fan if you want to be real about it. I was a huge fan of yours, so I'm very happy to see the work that you've been doing on Titans, and I'm happy to see that you're back in the saddle doing your acting thing.
Yes.
So, all right, y'all. It's time to head on out. We appreciate you guys. Next week it's gonna be our last episode next week, because we're gonna be going on to our winter break.
Just
so
for the year.
Yes,
just for the year.
Yeah,
we'll be back
just for the rest of 2023, and we'll be back in January. All right, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will see you guys next week on another episode of The Unusual Mavericks, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pyro Media Network. YouTube, and also check out our website www.pyromedianetwork.com, and check out bulletinflightradio.com as well. And we hope you guys enjoy this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
All right,
Stay
guys.
unusual.
Stay unusual.